from the Wood TV Live Desk will begin momentarily. Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm News 8 digital anchor Luke Laster here from the Wood TV Live Desk this morning. Joining me, GRPS, John Helmholdt. He's the Executive Director of Communications and External Affairs. John, thanks for taking some time to chat with us this morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Luke. Thanks for having me. We're doing well here. We got our school choice expo tonight, and strategic planning process is coming to an end. So we've got some good energy, excitement, and momentum happening at GRPS right now.
We're talking about that expo here and some enrollment-related topics. Tell me a little bit about that. That's this evening. It's going to have all representatives, principals, staff from all 44 GRPS schools. Tell me about it.
That's right. This is our School Choice Expo, and it's no spectacular. It's a free and open event to everyone. It's family friendly. It's tonight from 4:30 to 6:30 at City High Middle School's gymnasium. All 44 theme schools and neighborhood schools will be in attendance, and they each have a booth. And it's staffed with the principals, teachers, some have student ambassadors. So it's a great opportunity for families and students to come out, learn about their school choices across the city of Grand Rapids. We have the largest, most comprehensive selection of school choices in all of West Michigan. So there are your traditional neighborhood schools where you can just walk to that neighborhood school. We also have the theme schools that are around the city that are everything like City High Middle School, which is the single top performing high school in all of West Michigan. You have the newly minted Sherwood Park Global Studies Academy, which is the second international baccalaureate primary years program, which is the international gold standard of excellence in education. Coit Creative Arts Academy was the first IB primary years program. You've got the Innovation Central High School with all the different college career prep academies and just so much more. There's free food. We have Tamales Mary. So if you like Tamales Mary's food, come on out. It's free tonight. There's also some kids games, activities, and giveaways. And I would just note, Luke, that for our theme schools, there is an application deadline that's fast approaching. Friday, February 4th is the deadline for our theme school applications. So we encourage people to act now and apply today.
Tell me a little bit about how these enrollment efforts have evolved. It sounds like the setup here, is similar to some you see almost at like a career fair where there's booths and each school is kind of telling you about themselves. But we'll talk about the past 2 years, pandemic related here in just a moment, but kind of just over the past decade or so, how has that itself evolved into getting students in?
Sure. Well, unfortunately, our district, like many others, have been experiencing declining enrollment. However, since 2012, when we had our GRPS transformation plan, we actually saw several years of enrollment growth. And I think that was part of the strategy of that transformation plan, was to invest for stability and growth. That's where we expanded the number of school choices. We reopened the neighborhood school in Stocking. We opened the new Grand Rapids Public Museum School, which is the middle school is literally located in the public museum, and the high school is in the original public museum building at 54 Jefferson. We expanded several of our elementary schools to be K-8 schools. So we really were listening to our customers and our stakeholders to say, what is it that we need to do in order to retain and attract students? And under Dr. Roby's leadership with the new strategic plan, we're going to double down on those efforts. And I think that's one of the things that are exciting is, while we have this current portfolio of schools, the strategic plan is all about raising awareness, telling our story, making sure that all of the individuals who have students that they know of the high quality school choices at Grand Rapids Public Schools, from the neighborhood to our theme schools.
And now let's hit on kind of the past 2 years or so. The last time we spoke was December. I was looking at the previous article, December of 2020. We did an article or did a live stream very similar to this one. And we were talking about GRPS and their return to learn plan. We've come a long way since then, but now without obstacles and things like that, of course. Within these past couple of years, retention, keeping students and staff, which we'll dive into in a minute as well. But what have some of those obstacles entailed from a standpoint of yours in keeping those students around?
Yeah, we had one of the single largest enrollment declines as a result of COVID. You might recall we were 100% virtual for most of the year. And as a result, we had a lot of families that didn't work for them. They needed to have something in person. So we saw a lot of individuals go do homeschooling. Some switched to other school districts or other public or private schools in the area. And we had more than 850 student decline. So that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow, because you take that. I mean, that's also a significant financial loss because unfortunately, these enrollment declines don't come in neat little boxes of 30 kids at a time. It's spread throughout all 44 of the schools. So we've had to really work on that. I mean, the good news is that we saw a really good count day. We were really stable, and if anything, we added a few kids. So we're really on kind of that rebuild mode right now. I think that's something when Dr. Roby became superintendent, literally 2 weeks after she accepted or was actually approved by the Board of Education is when COVID hit. So, she had to kind of, she was building the plane as we were flying it through this COVID situation. And I think what she's really excited about is that we got the strategic planning process kicked off. That was something that had to be delayed as a result of COVID. And so we're, just like the GRPS transformation plan of 2012, that really generated that energy and excitement. That's what's the momentum that's starting to build right now at GRPS is coming out of the strategic plan. We had just thousands of stakeholders that participated. And I've always said this, and I think we all know this, that the future stability, growth, and success of Grand Rapids Public Schools is not just a city issue or an education issue. It's a regional issue. It's an economic development issue. It's a workforce development issue. This region has a stake in seeing GRPS grow and succeed.
GRPS and schools all throughout the country were almost having to act on the fly last year and in 2020 when it came to the pandemic. What is something that came out of that GRPS is incorporating here moving forward? Maybe something that you found beneficial. For example, to kind of compare there, what we saw with restaurants when they started doing outdoor seating and the bubbles and things like that. A lot of them are taking that with them, pandemic aside. What is something that GRPS has found?
Well, the silver lining is the one-to-one technology. That was one thing we were forced to ensure that we had one-to-one devices for all our students and for all our staff. And we're continuing to invest in that. We're using the federal ESSER funds to update teacher technology in all the classrooms so we can be more accommodating in the event that there may be the need to go virtually. We have had some schools due to staffing shortages or COVID cases that had to go virtual for a week. We now have the technology and the one-to-one devices to do so much more seamlessly than we did in 2020. The collaborative planning, where staff meetings or PLCs, professional learning community meetings across across grade levels can be done virtually. And so I think that is a benefit, is it makes it easier. It can be quicker. You may not have to drive across town to get to that meeting. So I think we've seen an advancement in our professional learning, in our collaborative planning, and just the use of technology for academic achievement. It's something that we're getting stronger and better every day.
Tell me a little bit about, in terms of enrollment there, those specialty and theme schools that are within GRPS and how that may play into increasing enrollment across the board.
Sure. Well, so we're fortunate that there are traditional neighborhood schools, just like the ones we went to when we were kids, where you live in a certain neighborhood, and that elementary school feeds into a middle school, which feeds into the high school. And it has all the comprehensive athletics and extracurricular activities. But we also offer specialty schools, and there's schools that have a particular theme. You have University Prep Academy, which is a college prep focus. I mentioned the Sherwood Park Global Studies, that's International Baccalaureate. Quite creative, it has an arts theme. We have environmental science themes. We have leadership and character theme. We have the academies at Ottawa Hills with the hospitality and tourism, and the media production and public safety services. So what we've really done is create a diverse portfolio of school choices to really meet the needs and the interests of students. You know, as we look at this very competitive educational marketplace, if you will, we offer something unlike almost any other district. There's a couple charters and maybe a couple districts that have a few specialty like themes that they offer, nothing like what GRPS has to offer. And in this day and age, in this global world that we are in, and preparing students for the real world and global economy, we've got the neighborhood schools and the theme schools that are really designed to do just that. And that's something we take great pride in. Also, the diversity of our student body. That is something in this day and age is a value-added benefit beyond what you're going to get in a textbook. Just having that exposure to all the different ethnicities, race, religion, all of the above, that's something that Grand Rapids Public Schools takes great pride in, and is a reason why we believe GRPS should be the choice when it comes to picking a public school.
Now we talk enrollment here, which has been the focal point, but another problem that has popped up over the past couple of years now is staffing across the board, whether it's bus drivers or teachers or anything in between. You know, getting them enrolled, how does that work, and what kind of challenges does that give?
Yeah, we are in a state and nationwide teacher and educator shortage crisis. Michigan ranks dead last in the number of students who have completed the College of Education. It was a 71% decline since 2006. You know, the overall student population in Michigan has declined by 9%. The number of students coming out of the College of Education across Michigan has declined by more than 56%. We have more than 100 vacancies for teaching positions in Grand Rapids Public Schools since the start of the school. You know, the substitute fill rates are barely at 40%. So, and this is not just GRPS. This is across the board. This is happening in school districts across the region, across the state, across the nation. So there has got to be a state and national, we need comprehensive plans at both the state and the federal level to double down on and invest in recruiting and retaining our teachers, school leaders, and support staff. Because it's not just teachers. We're losing principals, we're losing parapros, secretaries, individuals who have been in this education sector, particularly since COVID, have been hit pretty hard, just like the healthcare industry. You know, and there has got to be a comprehensive plan. There needs to be significant investment, and it needs to happen immediately.
What do you believe that cause is? Prior to COVID, this sounded like an issue that has been going on since the mid-2000s. what leading up to COVID, what was that caused by?
You know, that's a good question. I think a lot of it has to do with overall morale and pride in the profession. The teaching profession has been under attack for years, and it's unfortunate because in countries that are in the top 10 in known for education across the world, like their education ministries are the top of the top. They are the most respected, highly professional, and unfortunately, that has just not been the case in Michigan or across this nation. Our teachers just have not received the respect that they are due, and I think the overall public education has been undervalued and under attack for far too long, and it's time we change that narrative.
One last question and one last topic that I want to hit on is classroom sizes. Has there been a decline in size since returning from virtual learning, and kind of how has the split up been in some of the bigger schools in the district?
I mean, it's about back to where we were. I mean, we have pretty standard class sizes compared to other districts. In some cases, it depends on the school, depends on the number of children enrolled in the school, depends on the age and the layout of the school. We have some really old buildings that were not built for kind of 21st century class sizes, where the class sizes can be a little bit larger, but they're pretty standard size. If anything, because of the number, we've had a lot of students who've been kind of in and out due to COVID, so it does vary by school and by class.
John Helmholdt of GRPS. Sir, is there anything else that you'd like to add here before we wrap up?
No, just, act now and apply today. Reminder that the theme school application deadline is Friday, February 4th, and that the School Choice Expo is tonight from 4:30 to 6:30 at City High Middle. It's an open house format, so they can come at any time. But if you're not able to attend and you would want more information, you can contact the school directly or contact communications at 616-819-2149.
John, I appreciate your time, sir. Hey, I'm going to ask you to hold on for just a moment. I'm going to wrap up our stream here, and then we'll chat a little bit off the stream
sounds
here.
Good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a look at the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm News 8 Digital anchor Luke Lester. Have a great morning and a great afternoon. Stay warm out there, folks.